Hello, everyone. This is the voice of Mike here. I know that a lot of people will be talking about this today. It's something most of us don't want to relive, but we can't forget no matter how we try. Like the generation before us can remember exactly where they were when President Kennedy was assassinated. We remember exactly where we were when the Pentagon was attacked, when United 93 crashed in Pennsylvania, and when the Twin Towers fell 15 years ago. I'm gonna ramble for a little bit and talk about what I was doing at the time this all happened. And I'm embarrassed to say that when this all happened, I was sleeping. I worked late at my job the night before and came home late and slept in for a bit. I woke up late Tuesday morning, turned my TV on to VH1, and I heard Dan Rather's voice. My initial thought was, is VH1 doing a piece on What's the Frequency, Kenneth by REM? For those of you who don't know, Dan Rather was the victim of a kidnapping attempt in the late 80s, and his kidnapper kept saying, Kenneth, what's the frequency? And that became the title of an REM song that came out about 10, 15 years later. I don't remember, but it's around that time. Anyway, as the picture slowly came on the TV, I saw footage of the second tower crumbling to the ground from earlier that morning. My heart sank as I looked at channel after channel, seeing the first tower go down, the airplane striking the second tower, people fleeing for their lives from the dust and debris, people in the second tower jumping out of windows and plunging to their certain death, the collapse of Building 7, the scream of "Holy fucking Jesus!" from viewer-submitted footage that was broadcast on CBS, and Dan Rather apologizing for the language. I was thinking, this can't be happening. God, this can't be happening. I went to work later that day, wondering what more tragedies will be bestowed upon this nation. I got through my shift by talking to all the customers about what's going on and how we can heal emotionally through this. By the end of the night, this 20-year-old was thinking that we're going to find those responsible, and we're intelligent enough not to jump to conclusions and assume anyone that originated from the Middle East is automatically associated with terrorism. How wrong I was. In the days after the attacks, I kept seeing news of people being harassed at work, people being attacked, and people being murdered just because they appeared to be Middle Eastern. My managers, who were husband and wife, were no exception to this. A week or two after the 11th, they took their family out for vacation while the rest of the crew handled things. I got a call from work one morning, and it's my coworker telling me somebody smashed the glass in the front door and robbed us. And I believe to this very day that the crime was committed simply because of how my bosses looked and sounded. I truly believe it was a hate crime. But anyway, let me get back to what I'm talking about here. September 11th, 2001 is a day that we'll never forget. Those of us old enough to remember. It brought out the best in most of us, yet also brought out the worst in some of us. I can only hope that the future generations ahead of us will read about this and do what they can to not let history repeat itself. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you for listening.